Hello and welcome to another game week preview of the Jupiler Pro League. This week we're going to talk about the game weeks 435 and in a little bit of more detail for 435 and 436 just quickly. Now I'm already gonna say sorry, there's been some troubles with the sound at the start of the video, so my voice has been cut out, so I am re-recording this. But I am here today again joined by Sibe. His links will be below. And how are you, Siebe?
I'm good. A lot of games now. As you said, some teams are playing twice this game week. So yeah, let's start.
So yeah, we'll start right away. The first game is RWDM against Club Brugge. On paper, this should be an easy win for Club Brugge. However, I don't think this will be as easy as some people expect, although Brugge should be winning.
Yeah, I think Club Brugge will win this game as well. RWDM won 3-0 against Sint-Truiden at home last week, so I think at home they can definitely be dangerous. But against this Brugge, really in form last week's, a lot of clean sheets as we saw in the previous episodes. Yeah, I think Brugge will win this game.
I do agree. You would expect a clean sheet from Brugge in this game, although it will be difficult in my opinion. With their forwards of RWDM, like Gueye, they should or could be scoring against Brugge. However, with Brugge, their clean sheet run, they should have a clean.
Yeah, it will be difficult. I think they could score with Gueye scoring, I think, 2 goals last week as well, so they do have attacking power. I do think they will score one, even though, as you said, Brugge is on a really good streak with clean sheets. So I think it will be a 1-2 or 1-3. I don't see them conceding so many goals at home.
I do think a 1-2 for Club Brugge win in this game. And as always, the players who could do well, Van Aken, definitely, De Kuiper, for me as well, Skof, and maybe Thiago, who has been in great form.
Yeah, you see in Brugge a lot of triple A, double A picks. Yeah, as you said, the common guys like every week. But I think, yeah, Brugge stack, I wouldn't be going with a full stack, but I think almost everyone can do good in this game, except for, yeah, a Vetles or Onyedika. They don't score as high as the other players, but yeah, attacking stack could be good.
I do agree, an attacking stack from Brugge could do very well in this game. Defensively, I would only look at De Kuiper as he's a very offensive player. Who can get an assist in any game that he plays. It all depends on if he plays or not, because he could also be playing from the right.
Yeah, the Kuiper will 100% sure play, and yeah, he's a really great option playing a lot of attacking football. And then if you look to the RWDM side, yeah, as I said, Gueye is a good option, like always, even against the stronger teams. But Duomo as well, Mercier, they're all good cap players. But if you would choose RWDM players, I only would go with Gueye this game week.
I agree. I would only look to get Guillet in this game week because he can score against any opponent. He's just a dangerous striker all over. Then we'll move on to the next game, which is on the Saturday and will be Eupen against Union. I think just as in the Club Brugge game, this should be an easy win for Union.
Yeah, I think they will smash Eupen. They're in terrible form last week's Eupen. Union, yeah, as always, scoring a lot of goals. They kept a clean sheet first in a while last week, and I think they could do it again. Eupen can always score on a counter attack or something. But I think, as you see a lot of apex, you can really go with a Union stack, a full stack even in this game.
I do agree. Full stack all over with Maurice in goal and defenders. You can pick any of the three. But personally, I would go for McAllister or Burgess. I think I prefer them over Magida. And then attacking wise, although if you can get a Castro Montes defender card from the 21-22 season, he could be very good as well as your defender card. Then midfielders, Puertas or Lapoussin, I think were the best choices. And attacker Amoura, 100%.
Yeah, players like Amoura and Puertas are expensive, but I think they're really worth it in this game week. I think they could score 80 plus really easily. wouldn't be really picking upper players. Some of them score decent 50s and 60s, but still wouldn't go. It's a bit of a guess who will score there, and yeah, just don't pick any. Yeah, Union players will do good, almost all of them.
I also believe that it will be like a 0-4 win for Union in this game, so I would not be picking any upper players in this game.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it will end in a 0-3 win for Union.
I think we have said enough about this game. Let's move on to the next game, another easy game, I think, for one of the teams. In this case, it will be Antwerp against Westerlo. Although Westerlo is not to be underestimated, as they had a very good form in the last weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Westerlo is looking better and better last weeks, but their best defender Bayram is suspended for this game, and that is a big miss for Westerlo. So I do think Antwerp will comfortably win this game. But yeah, you could always pick Westerlo guys for cap, like a Madsen, a Shatley could do well with a decisive, or just all around a Bayram. But yeah, he's suspended now. And Antwerp, yeah, you see a lot of A and B picks. You can really pick a lot of players from Antwerp in this game.
I do agree. I think Antwerp will win like 3-0. I don't see how Westerlo is going to score against Antwerp, who have been in a really, really good form. They really have found a good team now with Ayuke in the team. And with Keita being back, they just look so much more of a threat, so much more solid than they did before.
Yeah, I think a cap to 40 stack, although the rewards are not in cap to 40 this week and the upcoming 2 or 3 weeks. But like Keita is scoring really well, but yeah, he's still a low L15. Same with Ayuke, he's scoring 60s every time he's playing and still a low L15. Same with Janssen, so they have a lot of really possible options for capped, but also for All-Star is Ayuke really good. He's starting to score really well last week's.
And yeah, indeed, in the last 6 games, he has scored 5 of them above 60, and most of them are even without a decisive, apart from 2 of the games, so 3 games where he scored above 60 without a decisive. If he then gets a decisive in those games, it will be a really good score, and he's still only worth 20 euros, probably because he is still not a safe starter for when Ondrejka returns. And what I've also seen, since Keita returned, Alderweireld has been performing in Sorare scores much better.
Yeah, Alderweireld last week, he had a decisive or 2 even maybe, but yeah, his scores were better. So yeah, could be one of the reasons he starts performing again. Also Koulibaly scoring pretty decent last weeks. So yeah, Alderweireld only 8 euros. I think he could be a really decent option because he's really stable in his scores, and sometimes you have like an 80 or 90 score from him.
He isn't getting the scores he used to, but even though he is always going to be a good option for you in any team, especially against a weaker side like Westerlo. You can get especially a lot of passing AA against a team like Westerlo, but personally I would more look towards the attackers or for the goalkeeper in Buté.
Yeah, even Balikwisha is back as well. He got substituted last week for some minutes, and now he will probably start. And yeah, he's also was really in form before his injury, so I think with him back in the team, it will be a 3-0 win for Antwerp.
I agree. I think I'm going with the 3-0 as well for Antwerp. Now, the next game is a game that doesn't shout very amazing, very spectacular, but I think it might be a pretty spectacular game. With STVV against Charleroi. I do have to back Sint-Truiden in this game.
I am also backing Sint-Truiden in this game, although it could be a really crazy game. It could be a 0-0 like Charleroi played last week, could be a small win, could also be 2-2, 3-2, a lot of goals, maybe not a lot of goals, but if a team's going to win, it's probably Sint-Truiden, because as I said also in the last video, Charleroi still hasn't won an away game in like 9 games, so away they're really not good.
I do agree, Charleroi away from home have been pretty poor. And Sint-Truiden in general just have been very good, and especially at home on their artificial pitch, they do really have the advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, Sint-Truiden at home, on their pitch, it's really hard to play against. And as always, players like Steukers, Koita, and their defenders are good for cap options because they can score also really high with a clean sheet. Even though Koita, Steukers, they disappointed last week with a really low score, but I don't think you really have to look into that. They were just unlucky off day, but they will be back in this game.
I agree with that. Last week should have been just an off day, and they should be back with full force. And as always, you can go with Koita for your all-star or challenger teams, and then there's also probably a decent amount of cap players in there, like a Bogat, like a Hashioka, or one of the defenders.
Yeah, as we always say about the Charleroi players Zorgan and Eli Maritra. The last one I said he was injured. He's not predicted to play, so I guess it's maybe a serious injury. But Zorgan could be used.
He is 99% set to be out of the squad. A nice player who could play in this game for your cap mode is here Morioka. He is always someone who can do well, although I do believe that against Sint-Truiden he will not get the best of scores. However, for only 96 cents and 42 L15, he is quite a good option for a cap mode, especially to enable you to play better players elsewhere.
Yeah, Morioka has still a lot of quality, but yeah, it will depend on if he gets a decisive and how Sint-Truiden will react after the loss from last week. Also won't be really picking Charleroi players except for the guys we named.
And I have to agree with that. Now we'll move forward to the first topper of this week, which is Anderlecht against Genk. I think this will be a very, very entertaining game, and I like both teams. Genk will probably have to come back. They have to perform after they lost out of an European campaign after the winter. So I actually think Genk will win this game.
It's a really interesting game. Both playing attacking football, so it will be a really fun game to watch with maybe a lot of goals. But yeah, Anderlecht at home, I think they still haven't lost a game. They won against Antwerp. They draw against Club Brugge. So at home, yeah, they're just a really good team. Genk last weeks are performing again. Painsil and Fadira are in form. Even Sor as well in the striker position. So yeah, it's really difficult to say which team will win in my opinion.
One thing I can say is that Sor has enabled the wingers of Genk to be better. His going deep and especially he is fast and he's dangerous, so the center backs have to concentrate much more on him than they would need to on Tolu or Zekiri. So with there being a much more of a bigger threat in the center of the pitch, there's much more space for the wingers on the sides.
Yeah, I do agree on that. They just play better with Sor, also higher scores. And I think if you back Anderlecht to win here, you can use maybe anyone from Anderlecht. If you back Genk to win, almost everyone, because both teams have a lot of players who can score really high and score really consistent. It's just if their team's performing well, they score good. Anderlecht, for example, I think their whole attacker side, their midfield with Verscharen, Leonie, Dreyer, Dolberg, they can all score good. But Genk as well with Painsil, Fadira, Heine, El Kanous, they can all score really good. It will be a really interesting game.
The one thing I would not take in this game would be the goalkeepers, as I don't think either of the teams is going to keep a clean sheet. Personally, I would say like a 1-2 for Genk. I do believe that Genk will notch this a bit, just because I think that Genk has the weapons to cause a lot of pain for the Anderlecht defense.
I think it will be really important, the outcome of this game for both Anderlecht and Genk. Genk play Antwerp 2 days later. We will discuss that game further in the video. But yeah, I, of course I want Genk to win, but I still have to back Anderlecht as well. So I think it will be a 2-2 draw.
I think it at least will be a game with a lot of goals. So attacking players from this game could be doing very well. I think the Genk attackers might be a bit better, especially for the cat mode. You could go with a Sor, because I don't believe that Vertongen and the Bas are the fastest of players. So with the fast players in the attack for Genk, and especially in El Canous, he could do a lot of damage on the counter, especially.
Yeah, I do agree. They could really damage Vertongen and the Bas. As you said, they aren't the fastest. I think you can just, as a 5-wise, use anyone in this game except for the center backs of the two teams. I think they can score really well, like a Vertongen, Sadiq West and McKenzie for Genk. But yeah, wingbacks are maybe the play here, Munoz or Kayembe, and same with Anderlecht Sardella or Augustinsson. They do have a lot of all around in any game and can combine it with a decisive.
I think in this game as well, the defensive midfielders in Delaney, Ritz, Heine, Rozowski. I think personally Ritz and Heine I like the most. Heine because he's very important in both defense and attack, and he is someone who just takes the team and leads the team by advantage in a game like this. And Ritz because he will have a lot of work to do. He can get a lot of defensive actions against El Canous and the other midfielders and maybe even the attackers. So he could have good AA scores in the defensive side.
Yeah, as I said now 3 times, it will be a really interesting game.
Definitely, and I really look forward to watching this game myself. And hopefully, as a Genk fan, Genk can win, but we don't know about that. Now, the next game is not on Sunday and not on Monday, but on Tuesday, and it's also the last game of this game week, and it's again Genk. They are playing Antwerp this time.
Yeah, 2 games in space of 3 days with holidays in between, so it's a bit busy for both teams because Antwerp also is playing, of course, 2 games.
So for both teams, these are one to watch out for, or maybe to choose specifically because they play 2 games, because the best score of the 2 games counts for your SO5 teams. I personally did it with Genk players, hoping that in either one of the games they could score well. A game at home for Genk against Antwerp. Antwerp have been in form, but at home I do have to back Genk against Antwerp.
Yeah, I back Genk as well. Yeah, everyone knows the famous game of the end of last year where Antwerp won the league, but this time I think Genk will just play mature and win this game at home. And to come back quick at the thing that the players have 2 games now, and Antwerp has a really easy game at home. I think Antwerp players could do really good, especially at the home game, and maybe if they can score good in this game, yeah, the best score counts, as you said, so they can do really good. Genk as well 2 games, but yeah, Anderlecht and Antwerp are 2 tough teams, so yeah, a bit less of scoring wise.
I think the one thing that will push Genk forward in this team is revenge for last season, and a bit of a feeling of hurt for the last game they played at Antwerp this season, where they lost maybe because of the referee, but we'll leave it up to you guys. On one side, I do see that the defense of Antwerp could do well if they manage to get a clean sheet in this game. But again, I don't see Genk not scoring against that Antwerp defense, who's with De Laat and Alderweireld don't have the fastest of players in there.
Yeah, as a bit the same in the game of Anderlecht against Genk. I see both teams to score in this game, so would be picking attacking players from this matchup. Midfielders as well could be a good option. but not really the center backs, especially from Genk, because if they don't get a clean sheet, they don't score as high. Alderweireld, Koulibaly, De Laat could score good if they manage to get a clean sheet, or Alderweireld gets a decisive sometimes.
I do agree on that. I would mostly look towards the attacking players, and otherwise you could take Munoz as scores. You can always take in any game, but I would look at the attackers and maybe the midfielders mostly. But this is always a very physical game, so there's a lot of duels lost and duels won. So I would mostly look towards the attackers.
Yeah, my prediction for this game then is a 2-1 win for Genk. Could also be just a draw. Could also be like in Antwerp this season, a crazy game like 3-2, 2-3. But I do think Genk will play mature, and I hope Genk will play mature in this game.
I think this will be a game that will be a bit more closed off. I don't think Antwerp is coming to Genk to win. In my opinion, I think they will just be happy with the points. Genk will, like in any game, go all out. So I actually just see a 1-0 for Genk in this game. Now, these were all the games of the game week of 435. I will just show you guys that there are still 7 games in game week 436. Maybe we can just give a little prediction of who will win and what the scoreline could be like. On the Tuesday, we have in the afternoon Leuven against Eupen, Kortrijk against Gent, Westerlo against RWDM, and Brugge against Union. For the first game, I see Leuven as the most likely to win in this game.
Yeah, same. As said, Eupen in terrible form. Leuven also not in good form, but against Eupen at home, they should win.
I also feel that Leuven are bettering a bit lately, so I see them win the most. The second game, Kortrijk against Gent, I think this will evidently be a win for Gent in this game, and probably even with a big score like a 3-0.
Yeah, Kortrijk and Eupen a bit in the same situation, just really bad form, can't win anything. So again, Gent win.
Westerlo is against RWDM is a very interesting game for me. In my opinion, two teams that have been, one, performing better all season, but not amazing, and one team that is on the bettering side. So I think this will be a very exciting game, and I believe a 2-1 win at home for Westerlo personally.
Yeah, I also think Westerlo can win this home game because they're in good form as you said. So I also think a 2-1 win for Westerlo.
And then the last game of the Tuesday is Club Brugge against Union. It's a really tough game to decide or to choose which side you think will be better. Personally, for the excitement of the season, I would hope that Club Brugge would win, but I just can't see a team at the moment winning against Union. They are just such a good side. So I would say Union wins this game.
It will be a really important game to see how the season will go. Of course, there's still playoffs, so anything can happen then. But yeah, I do see Brugge winning this game because they're in good form, and Union is also in good form, winning everything. But away, I back Brugge to win this game with 1-0. Also, I think the record still stands that Union hasn't won a game against Brugge the last years or something. I don't know, but it's something like that. So I think Brugge will win this game.
At least the one thing we can say, it will be a very exciting game and very interesting to see. Then we have 3 more games on the Wednesday. The first one being Standaard against Sint-Truiden. For me, that should be a win for Sint-Truiden, even away from our home at Standaard. I just think Standaard is too poor to get anything done against Sint-Truiden.
Yeah, Standaard got smacked on yesterday by Mechelen, 3-0 loss away. They also got a transfer ban now. It's really not looking good for them. So I do see Sint-Truiden winning as well with a 0-2 win. Not even a score for Standaard.
Then the next one, Charleroi against Mechelen. Mechelen away from home, always performing a little bit worse than they do at home. But I do not see Charleroi winning this because Mechelen just have been in a better form the last week. So I would say Mechelen win by like a 0-2 or 1-2.
Yeah, I think it's a close one because Charleroi, they almost get all of their points at home. And as you said, Mechelen away is a bit more shaky. So, yeah, I think Charleroi can maybe win this game with just a 1-0 win because Mechelen don't concede that many goals. And Charleroi, yeah, maybe at home they can surprise us.
They could surprise us at home, but I just see Mechelen as a better side at this moment. But that can go any way in this game, in my opinion. And then we end the game week with another pretty exciting game, in my opinion, which is Anderlecht against Cercle Brugge. For me, I think both teams have been in very good form. Cercle Brugge, even with injuries, have been performing pretty well. I personally would back Anderlecht because they're playing at home, but I think this game can go in any way or shape. But I would say Anderlecht win it like 1-0 or 2-1.
Yeah, I do think as well, especially if Anderlecht even win at home against Genk, they're just strong at home then and win this game. If they lose against Genk and they maybe have a bit of a dip, Cercle could surprise. But yeah, as we said on some games, I think this will be a really interesting game. But yeah, Anderlecht, I think Anderlecht has enough quality to just win this game at home with a 2-1 win.
An interesting fact about Anderlecht Cercle, the previous game that they played this season on the 5th of November, Anderlecht won in Cercle with an 0-3 win. Although I do think that Cercle are better than they were at the start of the season, I still can't say I see them winning this game. But it will be a very, very tight game in my opinion. So we have had it, all of the games from the remaining 2 game weeks before the winter break. A heads up for that as well. The winter break the Pro League will start again around the 20th of January, I believe. Let me quickly search it. So the last game that will be played before the winter break is on Wednesday, the 27th of December, and then we start again on Friday, the 19th of January. So there will be a little bit of a 2 to 3 week break, so keep that in mind for your Sorare teams. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope we were helpful, and we see you guys in the review probably of maybe these 2 game weeks, but we will see what will happen with that. See you guys in the next one.
Bye.
So yeah, we'll start right away. The first game is RWDM against Club Brugge. On paper, this should be an easy win for Club Brugge. However, I don't think this will be as easy as some people expect, although Brugge should be winning. I do agree. You would expect a clean sheet from Brugge in this game, although it will be difficult in my opinion. With their forwards of RWDM, like Gueye, they should or could be scoring against Brugge. However, with Brugge, their clean sheet run, they should have a clean sheet.